All right, what's going on, everybody? I am the one, the only, the WOOKIE, joined by all my beautiful misfits. We got Z.
Hey.
We got the Choke Show.
I hear we're beautiful.
You're beautiful. You are beautiful, misfits. We got our resident PhD and president of AABD, Dr. Sheep.
What is your PhD in, Dr. Sheep?
Sheep.
Bullshit.
Nice. Okay.
Totally worth it. And we got Ewok.
Hello, Keyforge community.
Oh, that caught me off guard. Just don't even know what to do with it. But we had our resident competitive player, Mr. Z, decided that he wanted to go through all the power combos, or what he is considering power combos.
That's not entirely what I said.
What did you say? Refresh my memory.
Here are the super early chase potential items or combo dream things that we could be thinking of with absolutely no play testing at any substantive level. This is where we're at. Things that we can look forward to and be excited about.
So we're lucky we have the doctor of bullshit in our staff.
It should have been sheep shit, right?
Sheep shit.
It was pretty funny either way.
Alrighty, so we're gonna get through. We might have to do this as a little two-parter. I'm not sure. This is quite a list you've compiled here.
You can just pick a house, go for one, and then switch people up. Look, we got some fun stuff here.
Well, I want to start at the bottom.
Bottom, okay.
The bottom. So you also put a little thing together, the alphanumeric weighted card house comparison. We'll talk about that in an Archons Corner Extra. But we'll start at the bottom with Star Alliance. If I want Star Alliance, what should I be looking for?
That's not even the bottom.
Worlds collide.
Oh. That is according to his alphanumeric post, it is.
Oh,
or am I reading this incorrectly? I'm sorry.
I think you meant the bottom of our list.
No, not the bottom of the list. The bottom of his like alphanumeric code. Because according to Z, Star Alliance is the worst. If I'm reading that correctly.
Yes, it is the worst. So so combos from the worst house.
Because Lord knows I'll be opening a lot of these.
Yeah, I mean this just happens. I'll take one that I found kind of fun. I'm going to go with the Mirror Shell plus CXO Tabor. I don't know the exact... CXO Tabor is old. I don't know if Walkbot's going to be summoned for that one. It's, fight, reap, play, or use an off-house card. And there's now a card called Mirror Shell. Again, don't know the exact text, but basically it says... After you reap, all of your tokens are also this creature. So if you're landing Mirror Shell on an already ready Tabor, you can reap with Tabor, and then all of your tokens immediately become the Star Alliance Tabor with fight, reap, play, or use another thing, which, depending on how many tokens you have at that moment, even if they were a different house or whatever, they would immediately just become Tabors. And then you could ultimately get into a situation in which you are basically playing your whole hand and using your entire board. This Tabor also uses the artifacts. So I'm pretty excited just to see that happen at least once in gameplay in WoW. And as far as... this is where we probably do need Walkbot. I know Tabor is an uncommon. Mirror Shell is...
Probably.
A rare.
Mirror
Shell's a rare. So you are looking at a rare plus an uncommon in the same house, though. And because of the way Mirror Shell works, it doesn't actually matter what your token is. So as long as you had a deck that's just generating plenty of tokens, you could even turn it into some of those crappy tokens that we've talked about quite a bit. Like Strange Shell, into a bunch of CXO Tabors. Because the shells will be alive. I mean, that might be the best use case for Strange Shell in the game. Just mirror shelling them into anything else.
Anything but what they are.
Yes, anything else other than what they currently are.
I mean, Word on the Street
immediately be better.
Word on the Street Shredder is a fun format. I don't know.
Yes, yeah. Most of my Strange Shell decks are going to the Shredder. Report to Shredder. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
All right.
Now, if we're going to do Mirror Shell, so CXO Tabor is an option. What about Hings and Gross.
Wrong house.
Draw your whole deck. So now every token
with
you
the
make,
mirror shell.
yeah, every token you make is gonna be a comm officer.
Oh, I
Hing.
like that too.
Yeah, and then you just draw everything.
You can make them the one that's drawing, and then obviously there's going to be plenty of space in between your tokens. Oh, all right. So there's a double combo. That's a rare plus a rare, but it's math though. The more things that Mirror Shell directly combos with that are really well, and specifically in house, the better they get. So I do like that. Because the more chase opportunities we have, the better. In general, like today is going to be a combo / chase. In general, like day. Mirror Shell, I think, is one of the things that is just immediately on my rare chase list because of the way it's played and the countless possibilities of what Mirror Shell can do. It can create a whole bunch of things that we're not going to be able to think of offhand immediately before we start playing the game and seeing just wild things happen. Because it's a really fun card.
Yeah, now it's interesting because it's after fight, after reap. You can't really copy any of your opponent's creatures, but you can copy any of your own. Oh.
Yes.
We got lots of options.
Yep. All right.
But they have to be in Starlands.
No, you could put this on a non-Star Alliance creature, and then it does the same thing.
They get all. You don't want them to generally have an answer to you don't want them to be able to answer Mirror Shell before you can use it. So for the most part, you're going to want to be landing your Mirror Shell on a readied creature, or a creature that you can ready, which Cadet can do. Like you could use a Cadet to ready your Tabor or Hings in this case, and then use Mirror Shell to then change all of the Cadets to something else. It is generally better to use Mirror Shell with off-house tokens, though, right? Because they would be ready because they're made in other turns.
I still have to find a way to
Well, it doesn't
fight with them, but yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter what house your token is from because it's going to become Star Alliance or whatever house you're reaping in.
But the thing is, if the token is already in Star Alliance, you can already use them that turn.
Well, yes.
So, the real value of Mirror Shell is that you're then turning all of your tokens that you would not be able to use that turn into these turns, and then specifically if it's Hings or Gross / Tabor, bonker stuff just starts to happen really, really fast. But
all right, what other craziness do we have in the House of Stars?
I do like this other thought, which is Future Booster plus Recruiting Station. They're both Omni artifacts. Future Booster says, look at the top card of your deck, and then you can either leave it there or put it on the bottom of your deck. And Recruiting Station says, Omni, choose a house, discard the top card of your deck. If it belongs to that house, make a token creature. So, you get to Future Boost, look at the card, and then switch over to Recruiting Station and say that card, that house, and guarantee a token every turn. It's it's a way to get a token every turn. I like that it's Omni, but I don't know. It's like 2 cards out of your deck.
Yeah.
It is really slow.
Future Booster, I think, is a great card in general. And then when you add, the fact that when you're putting Recruiting Station on top of it, the ability to make any kind of token guaranteed every turn if you want it is kind of cool.
It is very cool.
Nice.
Because they're both Omnis. It is just very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got that, you almost got a double dig choice too. If
you just want to cycle, right? Just push, you have that option too. Well, I guess Future Booster's not really cycling because it goes to the bottom. I don't know.
Yeah,
does it go to the bottom?
That's not. Yep, Future Booster puts it on the bottom, so that's not forcing a shuffle.
Yep.
I thought you had the option of putting it on the bottom.
Yeah, but you either leave it on top or put it on the bottom. You can't get rid of it.
Sure, you can't remove it from your cycle that way.
I definitely saw some good Future Booster use recently. Like every time you're going to make a token, look at that card and decide if it's token bait or your rant and rave, and you put it back on the bottom of your deck for future use.
Okay.
It looks like Ewok has one of these combos. Ewok, you got one of these?
Yeah, so going through my WoW decks, I was super excited. I actually have the token creature of Cadet, and
I'm sorry.
since but even here, I know that Cadet wasn't getting a lot of love. And I'm like, okay, let's see what it offers. So Cadet token power, token creature from Star Alliance, 1 power, destroyed Ready Cadet's most powerful neighbor. And in my deck, it's actually coming with both Brobnar and Saurian. So that was interesting. But why it jumped out at me is I immediately saw the combination for Gross and Hings. So Comm Officer Hings, 3 power human. Play, you may search your decks for Comm Officer Gross, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck, and then fight Reap, draw 1 card for each creature between Comm Officer Hings and Comm Officer Gross. And then on the opposite side, Comm Officer Gross, 3 power human. Play, you may search your deck for Comm Officer Hings, reveal it, put it into your deck, shuffle, and then fight Reap, give it +1 power to each creature between Comm Officer Hings and Comm Officer Gross. And this was really nice, a lot of fun to try and set up to try and draw cards, because Cadet can go ahead and ready your most powerful creature when it is destroyed. So a lot of super fun. In my individual deck, it did not go off as easily. I did play against Sydney, who came out. Cheap, I know you were there, and then our good buddy Corey, who was also there. So I was rolling for it all day. In this case, because I have Brobnar and Saurian, they put out some big beefy guys. So I needed to actually have 2 cadets in order to be able to go ahead and fire it or put it on the end. I just didn't have the damage pip to be able to do it, but super fun.
And you didn't have the damage pip in house.
I know. And that I really would have liked, but it was fun. It actually had some versatility, and you just have to think a little bit differently for Cadet, but why not draw all those cards and grab?
Well, and it in set is like the only way to fire Hings Gross from hand. Well, like in the DT, as much as as annoying as they are, we had Triska there to fire Hings Gross from hand. Like that was an option for us. Don't have that anymore. So now we have Cadet. That is one of the saving graces of Cadet. There are some interesting things you can do with constantly being able to ready creatures. I still think it's where we appropriately ranked it. I think we put it in what is it C? Like with the rest of all the other C. Yeah. So it's down there still, but I think you'll see some decks where it does some stuff that it's there just because of the unique makeup of the deck, specifically where damage pips end up falling. That's where it gets most of its value.
I can talk about this next one.
Yep.
In part because I wanted this so bad to work in previous sets, and it didn't so much. And maybe it will now. I don't know that I'm convinced, but
yeah, I have 2 decks with this card, and it doesn't work. Either one.
Yeah, same here. It's Uncharted Lands. So this is an artifact originally in
Worlds Collide.
Worlds Collide originally?
Worlds Collide.
Worlds Collide.
Yeah. So play 6 from the common supply on Uncharted Lands. It's an artifact. Each Star Alliance creature gains move 1 Ember from Uncharted Lands to your pool. It did make your Star Alliance a target, and you couldn't really use it often effectively if your opponent had Star Alliance, right? So because they could take the Ember off of it too. So it was potentially unusable, and when it was usable, it was hard to use.
Dion,
maybe
hand it over.
with all these tokens, right? So it's Uncharted Lands plus Star Alliance tokens. And probably not bot too, but I guess if you have bot, I guess you try, right? With either Explorer or Cadet, maybe you can get some boosted Ember off this thing and make it worth more than it was in Worlds Collide.
Yeah, basically, if your deck just produces a lot of tokens, even if they are 1 power tokens, you should end up with a turn going into it. You do have more ready Star Alliance creatures than before, just because you are creating them, even if they are 1 power, right? Mm-hmm. So I think there's a higher chance you go into a turn and can land Uncharted Lands and rate with 4 people immediately than there were before. That's cool. I'll talk about the last one. I don't know if it works. So once the shadow government of the playtesting group or whatever decides to create the new
I don't
The
know.
new rule book for us.
Keyforge
like,
Illuminati just
yeah.
coming up from the shadows.
They'll like let us know or something, but because I think this could be really cool. We already talked about how Mirror Shell works. Another creature that would be very interesting if it would work. I have no idea as far as the way the rules work on it. But Crash Muldoon was one of those creatures that enters play ready. There aren't that many in the game. This is one of them. Mirror Shell makes all of your tokens into Crash Muldoons. My question is, do they actually enter ready at that point? Do all my tokens immediately become 3-power Star Alliance creatures that
I was gonna
enter
say,
play ready?
when do they become 3-power Star Alliance? Because doesn't he have
I
deploy
have
too?
no idea.
Doesn't Crash have deploy too?
Yes.
Because he has action use neighboring creature, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
and
Starline.
deploy, like all kinds of crazy stuff going on there.
Yeah. Since we're talking about it, I'll share. Crash Muldoon 3-power human pilot. Deploy. Crash Muldoon enters play ready. Action use a neighboring non-Star Alliance creature.
Knowing the way Keyforge works, they will not allow us to have fun.
Now,
I-
this I think qualifies in the same goofy rule that causes your Maverick Fandangles to come in ready with 4 Amber in play. Like as soon as you're dropping a token from your hand, it becomes whatever this is, and it comes into play ready. I say it works.
I would love for this to work. I have no idea. So, like, if that ends up working, again, we're talking about a rare plus an uncommon, so it wouldn't even be that high of a chance to see. But it is
Crash a rare?
something. No.
Cra- Crash is a rare.
Crash
shit.
and Mirror are both rares.
Yeah, they're
so-
both
Alright, fine. Then rare plus rare. So the odds you see it in the wild are super low. So, like, please let this happen, GG.
Well,
like, this
but
would be an amazing
Crash is
thing.
kind of one of those not so rare rares, or maybe I just never cared enough before. to
That's
really
not
make
a
it.
thing.
Yeah, no.
There are definitely more rare. There are rares out there that are more common than others. That is a thing.
I would agree with you that there are rares that are more rare than others because of linked-ish reasons, because we've seen that in the algorithm. I don't know if I've heard of statistically a rare being more common than others.
Well, has anybody done the study?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time in our freaking Discord.
Oh,
It's
listen, I popped in the other day, 39,000 new messages. I'm like, what the?
between
I was-
Luke and JM. Like,
I was
they've
gone
got it.
7 minutes. What happened? Like,
This is what we want, a thriving community that wants to talk Keyforge. That is what we have built, boys and girls, and we are very happy for it.
Okay, Z, here's my wonky one for you. Is what if my mirror shells on something like a Secura droid?
That's it.
Can my
Ooh.
tokens come in as upgrades?
Well, no, because it
you
says
can
when they're played, right?
but you can exhume into upgrade status.
Because they're playing it. So I know the answer to there is no. Because it says when you play this, you may play it as an upgrade. You never play a token.
Okay, you put it into play. Fair.
I can answer that one. I have no freaking clue what happens to a
wouldn't
mirror
it? Because
shell
doesn't
Crash
it? It's
Muldoon.
till end of turn, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, what would happen at end of turn? The upgrade just falls off, or
Well, that's my question. And then the only way that's good is if you got that
I was gonna say, what's
guy
the
who
point?
says ready
Wait,
and ready
yeah.
me because I got a card
Because
on
now
me.
I can transporter platform cards back to my hand. I don't know. It seems a little obscure.
Oh yeah, that
could happen.
Hey, we're talking obscure
Oh,
camp. Okay,
That's,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
that
that's
does
super
not work.
obscure. Like,
That
why would I even
definitely-
want to do that?
Yeah, that definitely does not work because it's not play. All right. What house do we want to go to next?
Let's go. What's next? Bottom of the barrel. Saurian.
Next bottom is Saurian.
Saurian.
Based on the alphanumeric weighted card house comparison. But if you want to hear, sign up for a Patreon and you can hear the special Ace episode in the future.
I know I'm looking forward to it because, to be honest, Saurian did surprise me at being second from the bottom. But yes, looking at the
really?
cards.
Because they're
Really?
terrible.
What?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm surprised
Uh,
Sanctum's as high as it is.
Well,
I am
yeah.
too, but we can talk about that
Yeah,
tomorrow. or whenever.
There's some talk there, but we also have to talk about some of the commons that are coming from Saurian, and they do offer some combo potential. So, who wants to start with the top one?
The top one,
Doing
which is
the
a
third
rare,
one.
which is Spartasaur and any dino token, right? 'Cause
Any dino
Spartasaur-
token. Yep.
Spartasaur says whenever a friendly non-dinosaur creature is destroyed, destroy all non-dinosaurs or something.
Yep. That's
I don't know. The Walkbot knows these things.
Well, after a friendly creature is destroyed, it doesn't have to be.
it doesn't have to be a dinosaur. So you just
Yeah.
any one of your creatures dies, and then everything that is not a dinosaur dies.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's some crazy one-sided board wipe often. And if you have a dino token, all the dino tokens are dinosaurs.
all 4.
So you're just gonna you can just build. And if you have some cycling token generation and stuff, maybe you got our other crappy Starline's Dream combo of Future Booster and Recruiting Station, and just every turn you're making more dinos. And every turn you kill one.
Or
If
if you just
they're
have like one guy that exalts, you can do the archiving make a token mechanism that's in Saurian.
Yeah. So yeah, I just looking, even not as a combo, Spartasaur in this set I think is very good,
Mhm.
right? Because
Yeah, like he was relatively underwhelming for me in Worlds Collide because like most Worlds Collide, all 3 houses like want board to some extent. So you're like killing your daughters or you're killing your Star Alliance line or whatever, and it's frustrating. This is like with a Dino token, like you're just gonna like for the first time truly just live in Dino Land for the rest of the game and kill all their creatures every turn.
Now
Like, they
I'm
have
just
to answer
killing my
Spartasaur from
cadets and
hand.
drawing a bucket of cards.
that
What?
Oh,
your
sorry.
prospectors.
Prospectors. Sorry.
Yeah. Like that's
Or-
not a Dino
or-
token, but that works too.
Or somehow I reap, kill a creature, and I have a bunch of cadets, and then ready all my dinosaurs to do it all over again.
Ewok was doing some of that.
Oh,
Yeah,
Ewok, you had the
that would be-
shenanigans?
It wasn't shenanigans, but cadets are. I think cadets gonna move up.
Yeah.
in
So
power.
Do you think it can hit B?
I think so.
Okay.
I do think so. There's just a lot of combos when you start to play cards and you're seeing it as options out there. There are reasons that you're like, I don't need this cadet, but I want this ready and I can do something with it right now. I also happen to have 3 Might Clubs in that deck. And with the Brobnar, it really it offered options and outs that I should not have stuck around
My
against
club
Sydney
doesn't
Steel in
work
that game.
with cadet, right?
No. But I'm saying like I had a lot of artifacts, so it actually dwindled the deck down because there were 5 artifacts there.
Which one's
And
my
so
club? Is that the Crummy War Chest?
No, it's the crummy
so-
Gauntlet of Command.
Yeah, it's the
Oh, it's the Crummy
yeah.
Gauntlet of Command. So what is it, ready and let me fight
Oh.
with a creature or what?
Well, let me
In
tell
range
you,
and fight.
if it was Gauntlet of Command with cadets, it would be for real.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Ewok's
'cause I
deck
could
has
fight-
an FOF transponder. So, like,
Yes.
you could trigger the FOF transponder to put the next cadet into play, and then the first cadet dies if it's your only thing, and then ready's the one you just played, so you could rule of 6 fighting with cadets for 6 damage. It's funny,
And gaining Ember with Brick Nasty all along the way.
but there's no
that's
way
the
to ready that
Bromnar.
first one.
Well,
Yeah.
isn't Might Club in Brobnar?
Yes, but my club doesn't actually make them fight; it just readies them
Oh,
and
It
enrages them.
Ranges. Yep.
oh,
And
Doesn't
cadets
make
are-
him House Brobnar. Yep.
Yep, and cadets are still sitting there going, "Oh, we're Star Alliance."
But now
It's
they're
a fun
mad.
dream, but I don't know. They must figure it out and made Might Club instead of just reprinting Gauntlet.
Gauntlet would have been good.
too broken. Too broken.
All right. Well, let's see here. Our next Saurian combo is any one of your
it's just
one of your 2 big Saurian tokens. So your 5/2 warrior or your
Peloton Warrior.
straight 5 power warrior fighter.
Trooper. Oh, goodness.
Plus, they have the crushing charge and pale into insignificance in house, which are crushing charges, destroy all 4 or less and gain a chain, and pale into insignificance just destroys all of the lowest power creature.
and get an Ember.
Destroy each creature with the lowest power, yes, and gain an Ember.
So these let you just build a big board and kill things. So I did have this yesterday when I was playing. I had a Peloton Warrior deck with some of these cards. Turns out you still have to have Amber control to win games.
You do.
Mm.
But this was good, right? Like I could dominate board, but and we haven't talked about it a lot, but the new Quantrino is really good. Really, really good.
Yeah.
It is very good. And the other thing that has to come with this setup is both Crushing Charge and Pale into Significance are both common cards. So you're going to see it pretty easily.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, I really like how, like, if you have one of the big tokens, technically the two Brobnar big tokens work. I guess the one Brobnar big token works with both of these combos too, the Berserker. Because, like, just being able to have your token board be that big at 5, just slaughtering everything else is really, really cool. But my combo is next. I had a lot of fun with this. Oh,
Real quick on Crushing Charge, I do really like that they made it better because I felt like it was just really sad to get it in DT because
you had a lot of small dinos.
you had so many small dinos. Now you still got Faust. You have the Legionary Trainer now that you care about, but I feel like there's a lot more utility in this set, and so the card went from terrible to decent with this. So it's.
Well, and if you have one of those tokens, it's just an excellent board state, right? Like,
Yeah.
Okay, all my things are 5s, all your stuff dies.
Yep.
It gets the most play. Like, a lot of us are running decks that, like my MM decks that I play, nothing is over 4. Like, they're all 3. Basically, every single mutant is a 3, and there's like a couple 4s and a couple 2s, and then all the rest are 3.
You're stuck with like your one Picaroon that you just got stuck with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he dies because everybody else died.
Yep. Yes, because everyone else is dead too. All right, one of my favorite things that I've seen in Saurian, and mostly because of the rarity that they're printed at, is I know these cards. So Symposium, it is an action, does not have an Amber Pip. It says exalt, ready, and use a creature. If that creature was a token, exalt, ready, and use another creature. So like that's a common. That's straight up burst for 2 actions. It could be 2 amber, whatever your creature actually does. Doesn't matter what house they're in. And that directly combos with another common we have in Saurian, which is Epic Poem, which is exalt a creature, then gain however much amber that's on that creature. And then also combos with Inspiring Oration, gain an amber, exalt a creature, then create as many tokens as are on that creature. This is a common plus an uncommon. You're going to see a ton of decks that have this. This is going to be a super bunch of bursts. Actually, if you have the trainer in this scenario, or the trooper, like Epic Poem and Inspiring Oration are going to hit even higher because the trooper exalts each time it reaps. That all said, there's not a whole lot of actual amber control inside Saurian, so these are fun chase combos, all of the things we're talking about, but you are going to need to pair it with a house that is more effective at controlling amber, which we'll talk about when we talk about house combinations to look for, whatever. But yes, tons of risk reward coming from the dinos. You will see lots and lots and lots of decks with these 3 cards.
Yeah, Epic Poem is a very common. Every dinosaur deck I've seen has had it. So,
I also do not have I think I have 3 Saurian decks, and they all have one, at least one.
Since we're talking about Epic Poem and lack of amber control for Saurian, I'm going to bounce down to what I'd seen yesterday. It does require Praetor Marius being out, but Praetor Marius, 5 power, dinosaur politician, common after reap for each exhausted creature to Praetor Marius's left, capture 1. This is pretty easy to be able to get out. It has some sticky power. And if it is out or you have a way to ready it like I did with my cadets there, by playing any of the token creatures that I had Belton Warriors in one of the decks, you're spitting out some token creatures. And this does offer some amber control to capture. And then pairing that with Epic Poem to just go ahead. I went ahead and took 7 yesterday. That was very, very, very nice. Again, you got a big dino bot. I did have a little bit of protection by putting a ward on it, but this was a lot of fun, and I could easily seeing it between Epic Poem and Praetor. So just be aware of it. It's not something that you can leave unattended. Otherwise, you're going to have a big amber burst that's coming from Epic Poem.
Epic Poem is so much more satisfactory when you're triggering off a giant capture too, because then it's their amber bank, not an amber bank you made for them.
Well, it's like even if they get it all back, you've already benefited from all the amber there yourself. Like it's very, very. It's basically the new version of like risk reward, like parity between the two players. Like, fine, take it back. I at least got it all. And I was just thinking about that. So like he talked about Epic Poem, I talked about Epic Poem. Like in my head currently, is there any other card we've ever seen out of Saurian that has this kind of amber burst? Like they don't normally have amber burst. I can't think of any card that gains amber.
It's like Tribute Sync Semper, right?
Like that's a combo. That's not that's some kind of.
Well,
I don't know.
So I saw a lot of Epic Poem play that was only for 2 or 3 amber, right? It's not always 6 or 7, but it can be.
Even 2 or 3, you're talking about like a ghostly hand that can then be purged from Infernus, or Virtus Works that can then be purged from Infernus. Epic Poem does not have a pip. That is 2 or 3 amber you're getting, and they have to take it the hard way if they want it back. They can't just cheese you with Infernus.
I agree with that. I actually really like Epic Poem has Exalt a friendly creature. So if they go into it, they do get 1 out of it. But I do think that risk reward benefit is huge for the Saurian player.
Yeah. And I played a lot of decks with this card in my deck. I've never played this card for 1. It's always been at least 2. Most often more than 2.
I played it for 1 yesterday.
I played it for I played
y'all
it for
need to draw better.
Thank you, Z.
Well, so here's the question, Z. If you have it and you have a chance to be able to take it for 1, is it better to go ahead and do that if you don't have dinos that are going to go ahead and exalt themselves? And that's the issue that we ran into with the deck.
Yeah, like if you don't have ways to lead into this or no way to really fuel it well, then obviously you just play it for the 1. But like, this is a potential hold card in my opinion, because like the dinos don't have Ludo, you don't have Scutum, you don't have a lot of the things that we used to have. You don't have an exile in this exact house. There's actually a different house that has like 3 of them, but they themselves don't have it. So, like, I think this is a potential card you could hold on to, especially if you do know your deck has. Like, if you have Symposium, Inspiring Oration, like, coming up in your cycle, like, I might hold on the Epic Poem. But if you can, you have one of the rare decks that can actually archive a card. This would be something I would 100% look to archive, because, like, this kind of burst, like, the ceiling for the value of the card is very high. Anyway, I think we've actually talked about the next one. It's kind of fun.
I say, what's up next?
No, it's because it's not even a combo. It's a single card. The Legionary Trainer, which just says friendly tokens come into play ready. Like, this obviously works really good with Dino tokens, although dinos
others too
haven't. For me, the Dino House itself doesn't produce a lot of tokens. They don't have a lot. I mean, like, there is Inspiring Oration, but you gotta have it, right? Like,
yeah,
dinos, I've just not successfully made a lot of tokens within the Dino House. Of course, I've had small playset, but man, if you can find a way to land a Legionary Trainer and keep him on board to the house where your tokens do exist,
I guess that would actually be a full combo. Like, Legionary Trainer is common, by the way, which is baffling to me. Like, that's crazy good.
He does make a token though, so like,
yeah, he makes a token, yeah.
So he does come in with 1 ready friend, assuming you have a Dino token. So this,
or Researcher from Mars. That works too, because it's Omni.
Yeah, yes. But Legionary Trainer is going to, you're going to see, like what you were saying, Symposium, Ecopone, Inspiring Oration, plus a Legionary Trainer in that deck. And you're going to see that trigger. And somebody's going to be like, I gained 7 amber. And then I land 7 guys who make 7 amber or fight you all down or do whatever they're going to do.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, oh boy.
And if they're scholars, they're also going to draw 6 cards, because they're going to come in ready. They redraw 1. Like, it's crazy. Like, there's definitely some spike potential involving Legionary Trainer.
And just this, like we were saying though, with this set, there's just so little effective efficiency, it can be hard to get the stuff together.
Yes, that's true.
But you will see it happen, and it will make you sad or happy. Kind of depends what side of the table you're on.
So, quick check at Saurian. Arm the Plebeians is making token creature. You have Phalanx Leader.
A single token creature,
Well-
another single token creature.
Correct,
They do have one flood mechanism. It's the it only works if your opponent has a big board though. It's I don't know the name.
Yeah, that's a rare.
Yeah, it's like make a token for each difference. Like if they have more than you make
Yeah.
one for each you don't have.
Yeah.
That's
Is
a
it-
Deltulia 5 power dinosaur
Conscription?
politician. Each time you exalt a friendly non-token
No,
creature,
not
make a
that
token
guy.
creature. Yeah. I'm trying
That's
to
not the
find-
one we're talking about. It's a rare
Conscription.
action.
It's here it is. I found it. It's
Conscription.
conscription. Yeah, go ahead.
So there's an Amber Pip. It is an action play. If there are more enemy creatures than friendly creatures, make a number of token creatures equal to the difference.
Can be really good.
See, but you already have to land your Dino Legionary Trainer and first
Yeah.
Dino token for this to work. So they got to be way ahead on board for you to get a lot out of that.
Yep.
It's a thing. Like Legionary Trainer and Inspiring Oration alone are pretty good together,
Yeah.
assuming you got any other stuff. So there is some things, although we didn't pick a lot of different stuff with Saurian, but their 3 or 4 good cards are really good cards.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's not a lot of combos that we just talked about, but I like the stuff we just talked about is effective enough to like talk about win con level stuff. Like the first two is an amount of C that we've not really seen from the Saurians in that way ever. Axiom was never good because it came out in a time where like capture became king because of the other dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Like it was just a rough card and it got worse in the next set when we saw capture as pips in MM. Like it's very frustrating for a card, and now with the C that we have in these Saurians, it's good. And then the last 3 combos we talked about are very fun, bursty type things that we have not seen from the Saurians in this way ever. So I'm excited to see that. And excited enough not to be like, oh, I got Saurian, which is what some of our initial feels were as we were seeing the cards come down the line one at a time.
All right, it's time to break this thing up with the Archons Corner unnecessary question of the week. Are you guys ready?
Oh gosh.
I was actually missing this. I meant to ask you what happened to it. I've been trying different ways to wipe ever since the last one.
What have you found to be the most successful? This one's
Going-
not.
Going
Not-
from the side does not work.
No. How many people now do you think are at home or trying it? We're like, who sits down? And then they're like, well, I'm gonna try it.
He ordered a Teeter's hang up to try something different.
You know what you really gotta buy? You gotta buy a squatty potty. It'll change your life.
I don't even know what you're talking
Was that a bidet?
It's a stool
Ow.
so that you put your feet up when you poop to make you squat instead of sit. It'll change your life. Change your life. But speaking of
So
chocolate, I want to know what your guys' favorite Keebler cookie of all time is.
Keebler?
Keebler.
It's got to be a Keebler.
Must
Can't
be a
even think
Keebler.
about
Wait, do they have anything other than the fudge cookies?
They have many
elf?
different cookies. Keebler elves?
Yeah, like, do we eat anything besides fudge stripes though?
Well,
What do
I
you
gotta
mean?
go with fudge stripes because I literally don't know if they make anything else.
All right.
They
So
basically make everything that the Girl Scouts have made at one point or
Correct.
another, but when you go to the store, all you ever see are fudge stripes.
And the fudge stripes aren't even the best ones.
No,
So-
they are not.
I give shout out to Fudge Stripes. That's my dad's cookie that he will always
Honorable
go
mention
to.
to the fudge stripe.
So Fudge Stripe gets it there.
Old man's cookie.
Hands down. I mean, he is what 76. So coming up actually next week. So.
That's all they had back during the war, Dan.
But for me, what is actually reminiscent of my childhood is EL Fudge. That was also what Pops brought out, and so I have good memories there. For my own kids, I will throw out the Coconut Dreams. which
there it
is what is there. So
That's
those are
one.
my 3.
That sounds horrible.
they basically are a knockoff of the Girl Scout cookie.
Yeah.
They're very good. And if you like coconuts, I would highly recommend it.
I might be a soft batch guy. That weird chemical flavor to keep them soft. I like it.
He ain't wrong. They're delicious. They're very, very good. Choke show?
I can't remember the last time I've had a Keebler cookie. I'm definitely in the like Pepperidge Farm territory.
Oh, my
rich
God.
guy, rich guy.
Rich
So you-
guy, they're like right up the road.
So let me get this straight. You like fancy
They're like-
pants drinks.
Yes.
You like, and you also like, hold on. You like fancy pants drinks, fancy pants coffee, and now
Yes.
fancy pants cookies.
I didn't realize Pepperidge Farm was fancy pants.
That's
cookies.
very fancy pants. That's like double the
Really?
price.
Is it? I never buy them.
Yeah.
That's
You
how
can
you know when
have
you're
as many
super
cookies.
Oh, no.
fancy.
You're
Plus,
100%
if you-
buying them. You just don't
If
know.
you have the factory store right up the street
Oh.
where it's like you can get the broken ones for cheap, it's like hell yeah. Give me
What, you
those.
just licking crumbs off the ground or what?
Yeah, it's delicious.
This is called the dumpster out back. Or
These are all the
transports
bad
down,
ones.
like, hey guys, don't mind me
So
here.
in high school, one of my teachers, his wife was a Keebler elf. She made Keebler cookies, and I was a shop dork back then. So I would do work on his car during school hours, and then he would pay us off in Keebler cookies.
That
Yeah,
sounds
have
like
you
a
been to the
story that ends
Keebler.com?
horribly. That sounds like a story that ends horribly wrong.
I mean, I'm fat.
Well, okay, not where I was going with that, and we'll just keep it that way. But no, we didn't mention the deluxe grams. Deluxe grams are very, very good. I'm surprised nobody said pecan sandies. Or they're just called
They're
sandies. I'm sorry.
Dry as heck.
They
Can't eat
only
those
sell.
things.
They are hard.
as far as my world goes.
They are a hard cookie. But Ewok mentioned all of my favorite, and the coconut dreams are basically the best cookie ever invented.
They make a grasshopper cookie, so you can get your mint things there too. Like I said, you just get most of the Girl Scout cookies there.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
they make the Girl Scout cookies. I don't know what's going
they
on.
probably
But now
do.
it's
Well, these
back
grasshoppers, they look
to
good.
Mars.
Yep. So next up, now that we've all cleansed our palate a little bit here, let's head into Mars.
So a lot of these are going to resolve around just having a Mars token, which isn't like a huge combo, but it's like, what, 1/3 of Mars decks? But like there's a lot of cards that got a lot better now that Mars can have a token. So
Yeah, I know, because the first one one of the first ones we're looking at is just the classic artifact of Crystal Hive, which that one says, it says action, whenever a Mars creature reaps, it gain another amber, something to that effect. And I know
Walkbot?
all
Hold on. We have a walkbot.
all the Crystal Hive decks I have from Coda were Crystal Hive, 3 Mars creatures.
yeah, they sucked.
So-
it's like, son of a... Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you're a little sad there. So Crystal Hive is a Mars artifact that is a location action for the remainder of the turn. Gain 1 amber for each time a creature reaps. And that, if I am correct, isn't uncommon.
Oh, you're right. Crystal Hive did not have to be Mars creatures, so that's where it
No.
was good, is when you managed to trigger it out of house.
Yep. Which
That's
there was a
usually
card
when
that
it's good.
allowed you to do that. It was the other artifact that you could sacrifice. But
Alright.
you don't need to do that here. Just having a Mars token means at some point you're going to call Mars to get to reap a bunch. This is like kind of crazy time. And Crystal Hive is, like I think I just said, uncommon. You're going to see
Yes.
lots of it. There's
You
going to
could-
be
you could
lots
have
of
2 of them.
Mars token plus Crystal Hive. Yeah, I had a deck with 2 Crystal Hive, and like Sheep just said, 3 creatures. And it sucked. Never got to use it. It generated 0 extra amber for me in any game I ever played it.
I
Think
think
my
the best Crystal Hives were snack lifted.
Yeah, they're better for my opponents.
Well, I think what's really nice about the token creatures is that you can play your Mars token creatures off house with your other 2 houses. And then when you come into Mars, they're there ready to go ahead and reap. And that's where the true
Yeah.
value, in my opinion, comes in.
And this is one of the reasons why I kind of love Grunt. Because, like, we're going to talk about Mars token in, like, 4 or 5 of these combos. and that is just a 3-power vanilla creature. Your opponents don't want to spend the effort to kill it because we talked about we talked a lot about the effort between killing a 1 or 2 versus a 3. It is significant because there's not nearly as many cards to just kill 3-power creatures. It's normally like fighting into them or a board wipe. And we know board wipes are going to be in high priority very, very soon. So like Crystal Hive plus Grunt sounds really, really fun to me.
Especially if you can add a Legionary Trainer in there, which is true for a number of these, right? And just get real crazy.
They all get a chance to answer it, but yes, like just not answering the trainer versus Mars could probably just be game over for you. Like it could be real
Answer
bad.
the trainer. It's a witch.
it's
Trainer is very witch.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're just
All right,
actually sharpening witch on all the trainers.
Yeah.
We have to sharpie it.
All right, I'm going to mention one of these because I'm real excited about this one.
Yep.
So
that never worked before.
Yeah. Well, I had one deck it could work in, but it was double rare situation. Anywho, Mars token plus Felix, or how am I going to say it? Felix the Disintegrator.
Isn't it just Felix?
Sure.
Yeah.
Felix.
It's Phil.
Sure.
Oh, no, he's in Saurian.
I mean, there's no vowels, so you'd say however you want. So,
The vowel is Y.
I suppose. It's got a 1 power.
Sometimes.
Every now and again.
One of the two Y's
The
are a
first
vowel,
one, yeah. The first
We
one
just don't
is
know
a
which
vowel.
one.
The first one's a vowel. The second one, not so much.
Sure. It's a 1 power elusive creature. Action. Your opponent loses 1 ember for each other friendly Mars creature. So that, back in Coda, almost never fired because it's 1 power, and even
Even if it did, it would they would lose 2 amber, like 5.
Yeah. You rarely had a whole bunch of dudes out, but now if you have a whole bunch of Mars tokens, you can get a whole bunch of guys, and there's a card, this Ironix Rebel, which is common, and he's deploy 2 power, deploy, ready each of Ironix Rebel's Mars neighbors. So you can
so good.
Make a bunch of tokens, play the Disintegrator, ready dudes, use one of your tokens that you just made, and then use the Disintegrator to just destroy your opponent's Ember. That's pretty exciting.
Because let me tell you, fighting with my 1 power blorbs was awesome off my level.
I actually did this combo.
Blorb.
Like I only have 6 or 7 woe decks from the event left floating around, and we were just playing some of them. This exact thing, I did make somebody lose 7 amber off of this combo, and it felt so good. I was like, again, I played a lot of Coda. I love playing Mars, always have, and nowhere in any of that did I ever get anywhere close to destroying as much amber as I did with the Disintegrator in one random game. That was super cool. Very, very fun.
Mm-hmm. Excited about that one.
Who wants another one? All of these are fun.
Well, sticking with our Mars token plan, we got the new board wipe, Kaboom.
Oh yeah.
Kaboom, which says archive each Mars creature, destroy all others, gain 3 chains.
Oh,
I think I would get a passing grade on a test with that.
Yeah, that was it.
Yep.
So you play a bunch of Mars tokens, and it's, and in this case, I did have this was also with the Rebels, so I played a bunch of Mars tokens. In theory, you get to read with them, but no, I was blorbing. So you reap with the 1 Mars creature you have that is not a token off of the Rebel, and then you put them all in your archives so you can do the Rebel again later. In theory, it's really cool. Right?
Well, I think it's a little bit better than that, though, because your tokens are going to your archive as their original card.
Yes.
So you don't you can actually save some of the cards you had previously, versus your cycle. So you'd actually get full access to your deck, which is one of the things I think that's kind of cool. It does make a muddy archive, but we've kind of been dealing with that since MM. Clean archives are rarer and rarer these days. Gone is clean archives since the days of AOA and Worlds Collide. All right. I like the dual one that's at the top here. I'll talk
No,
about that
I want
one.
that one.
Oh, go for it, Wookie.
No,
You
I
You know
want
these
that
two
one
cards.
because
knows the
Hypnotic
cards.
Command is one of my favorite cards.
Oh, it's about to.
I
be
loved
your
it in
favorite
Coda,
card.
and I love it that it's come back now. So basically, any Mars token, probably a grunt. It's probably what we're
Yeah.
shooting for here. Plus
Yep.
Psychic Network. I believe Psychic Network says steal one for each ready friendly Mars creature.
Yep.
It might say each Mars creature. I'm not 100% sure.
Wouldn't. It's friendly.
It is friendly.
Psychic
Okay.
Network is
Yeah.
friendly.
It's friendly ready.
Friendly ready, right. I said
For
ready.
Psychic.
I
You
said
said that
ready.
part.
I said ready.
did.
Which this card used to be because all your Mars creatures were like 2 power and they would die instantly.
Because people were incentivized to kill them.
Right. Now,
because they were
you-
actually very good cards, so you
Mhm.
never let them live.
right. You had in Coda, you had things like I don't think there was there were poor Mars creatures. There was ones that were better than others, but most of the good ones you wanted dead almost. Zookeeper you wanted dead. Almost
Yeah.
everything you wanted dead.
Yep.
So basically, Psychic Network never fired ever. But Hypnotic Command was more of my favorite card because it said for each friendly Mars creature, your opponent captures one on their own side.
Yep.
Choose an enemy creature.
Choose an enemy creature, and it captures one from its own side. So basically, not only am I now stealing, I'm just making my own Ember Pinata. I love
So
it.
good.
I love
so
it.
good. It's so good.
I was so happy
I
to
had
see
this in
Hypnotic
my
Command come
Unchained
back.
deck.
So happy.
I didn't even have a Mars token, and I was able.
And
to
they
hit
brought back
Hypnotic
Red
Command.
Planet Raygun is in the set, right?
Yeah.
They have a. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Red Planet Raygun is back.
It is.
Ah, so good. Love it.
There's also
Nah,
like a
it's okay.
new one too that's like better.
Yes, Red Planet Gun is back.
What's better than Red Planet Raygun?
M Blaster or
It's
something.
something like it gives everyone the same effect.
Yeah, everybody with the same name, they all get do 1 damage, I think is what it is, or something to that effect. It's M Blaster. MX Blaster, XM Blaster.
No, isn't it this R evolution thing?
Oh yeah, our Evolution Blaster. It's something.
It's not a
Something
blaster. Stop saying
It's
blaster.
a gun.
I
It is
found
a
it.
Stop saying
freaking
blaster.
gun.
You're
I'm
saying blaster.
looking
Stop
here.
saying
I'm
blaster.
trying to control F on Blaster. I can't find it.
Because it's not a blaster.
It is a blaster. Look at the damn picture.
I don't look at. There are no pictures. All right.
So is it called? Are you calling the Revolution? Is that what you were
It's
speaking about?
R evolution. It's a
R
rare
Evolution,
upgrade.
otherwise known as say it with me, Revolution. If you add it all together, get it? It goes with the theory.
MX Blaster.
R-evolution. So revolution. Amber Pip. Upgrade this creature and each creature with the same name as it gain after reap. Deal 2 to an enemy creature.
This is
Good.
nice because it actually says enemy creature, which is
That's-
something
yes.
that is missing from the token creature.
Yeah,
I
that's
still
not
think,
on our list, but that upgrade's pretty damn good.
I still think Red Planet Raygun's better.
it only does
You
one
are
creature.
Wrong.
It deals 1 damage for each Mars creature in play.
So one target.
Yeah,
Right.
It's one target versus every creature gains.
I guess it depends because if I want to kill an Ether Spider, let me tell you, I don't know if the Revolution's going to do it for me. It might.
Well, it depends how many creatures you
I'm
have.
gonna reap with 6 grunts. I'm gonna do 12 damage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Split up however I want. Okay, so we took that one. On one of my favorite cards from Coda that I never got to work in any deck, and I have it in a deck I play a lot in. It just doesn't do anything there because of the OTKs anyway. Basically, any fat token or any token that your opponent doesn't want to kill, like even fish works here. The token's actually called fish. Would be a good one for this. Well, Total Recall says, what does
For
it say?
each friendly ready creature, gain 1 Ember. Return each friendly creature to your hand.
Yes. So you're making these like either the big fat tokens or the fish token, things that people don't want to kill. Even Prospector would be good here. You're returning all these tokens you made to your hand so you can play them in their natural state, and you gain an amber for every single one of them. I am going to be very, very happy with decks that have Total Recall in any token that is either hard to kill or there is a basically deterrent to killing them. Because that is just a huge efficiency boost, because when they turn back to your hand, then you can play their natural card state. Very, very, very cool thing to happen.
Well, it's
Yeah, it's
official. It's
already-
officially boost. It's efficiency boost and amber generation.
Yeah,
Huge
it's
amber
like a
generation.
ton of You're gonna have like 8 amber gain here. Four of those are tokens. You're gaining 4 cards to hand that were out of your cycle that are no longer out of your cycle. It's just really, really fun here. And then you can replay all the Mars stuff that were Mars tokens, like that were tokens under as Mars cards. Very, very cool.
Is the next one even a combo?
No, we can.
This just feels like that mix plus Mars token just feels very like this is what this deck does.
The next one is there's not much to talk about here, but
Also
I'll
not a
get
combo, but a pipped out clone home would be
It's
freaking
totally a
awesome.
combo because you got to have 3 copies of the common guy in there to get all the pips.
Oh
They
no,
could be in it. They could be in another house.
That'll never happen, but it will.
Basically, I'm going to highlight all of the Clone Home is one of the best self-archiving make a token cards because it's just make a token. If you have more creatures than them, archive it. Which, if you're playing any other set, you're going to be archiving this card every time you play it. So basically, any version of Clone Home where you get a solid combination of 1 or 2 pips on there is just going to be worth chasing. That's going to be one of those things. You open up a pack, you see that Clone Home is blue. You're going to need to open that up as quickly as you can, cycle to that card, and see if you hit the jackpot. Because that's going to be very, very fun to see like an amber there or a draw there. I'm not really looking for any other icon other than amber and draw. But amber and draw would be very, very fun to see there. All right, someone that doesn't hate this card can talk about.
Oh, that's me. I put this in because I'm excited about this one. So
I'm gonna go take a nap.
first, Blorb Hive. So everybody's favorite token, right? I think that's what we've already established.
No.
So right, why would you? So right, people complain here about Blorb Hive. Why would you want him, right? Well, if you have Martian Revolution, it could really boost the Blorb Hive. So Martian Revolution gives you an Ember Pip. Play, destroy each friendly creature. For each creature that was destroyed this way, make a token creature. So, you can get a big board, much easier in this set than other sets. Blow it all up, turn it all into blorbs. If you already had blorbs, so what? They blow up. Now you have blorbs. And then use your Blorb Hive, forge that key.
This might be the
Nah.
only card. This is a double rare.
Yep.
So Blorb Hive is rare, and
Yep.
Martian Revolution is rare.
Well, we
This
don't
might-
know exactly whether that is entirely true, right? We don't know if the specialized token is actually more or less rare than normal rares, or if it has the
Well,
same.
Blorb Hive is a rare, period, of the story. Like, there's no doubt in that. It's got a star on the card.
But that's the linked rarity for the token creature.
Right.
So we don't know. That's what Z is trying to say. Is we don't
So
know
what controls it? Is it the card it's attached to, or is it you getting
Yes.
you getting the token
It's the
and
card.
then it makes that card go into your deck?
Now, it's if you get that card in your deck when it
You
goes
would-
to make
that
the
will
token,
be your token.
it overrides.
Right.
Yes.
That's what I thought. So,
So-
again, rare plus rare. I was
So the
still
reason
right.
though that this
Yeah.
does not work well enough and has happened in most games I have played, it seems, is at some point your deck runs out and you don't get to make more token creatures.
Yes.
So timing is super duper important with some of these token generation cards. And you'll see, be like, and I'm going to play this and it's going to make 9 tokens. Oh, I'll have 3 cards in deck. Oh, that was really bad. Like that happens.
Yeah.
That was the
I
biggest
will
thing
say
I found with Emberling. Was it's like, I'm going to make a bunch of, I'm going to make 3. Never mind.
Yeah, no, you have to watch your deck. I know that there was actually a turn that I had to change up at the end of my cycle in the epic game against Sydney that just kept going forever and ever. Sydney,
Only
you played
because
really...
you were like, I'm going to forge a second key and then lose.
Well, I actually put up a huge fight with that epic poem. That it was there.
Good job.
Hey, 17 amber is pretty sweet. We're gonna call that a huge win. And that's a very, very
But it was
solid
a
deck.
loss.
That in the end,
It was
anyway.
a loss.
Anyway.
Turn 10. It was clear where this was
It
going.
was a moral victory.
it was a moral victory.
Moral victory. Let's just say Corey and I played 3 whole games while they played 1.
I did feel a little bad. Sydney drove all the way up, and then we just played the one game. But it
Dan
was a
didn't
nice
even need to
episode.
Walked.
Dan didn't even need to scoop. They played full games.
Yeah. 45 minutes? Nah. Ewok says hour and a half.
Ewok says, hold my beer. Best of 3, who needs it?
Wow.
All right. I like this next one that we're looking at.
Yeah, I didn't have this one. This is cool. I like this.
So it's Genetic Blast, which is an action, and it says pick a creature, do 2 damage to it, and each creature that shares a trait with it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hold on.
No,
And
the
then-
name. It's the name. not the
Okay,
trait.
this one is name based. Okay, so each
Yep.
creature that shares a name with it. So this is good against an opponent with tokens. Not so great out of set, but if they got a bunch of tokens that are not Peloton Warriors, you get to do 2 damage to each of them, which, okay, so this actually comes down and it works against 3 tokens. Right? 'Cause-
So this combo is getting worse and worse as we talk
wait,
about
it's
it.
only
no,
3.
this ain't so good anymore. Scrap it. But anyways, hopefully you put 2 damage on several different creatures, and then you get to use Mars Needs Amber, which says each opponent's damaged non-Mars creature captures 1 from its own side. So Grunt doesn't work because it's a Mars creature.
I was gonna say, if their tokens grunt, do you just shake their hand and say
Defender
GG and
doesn't
walk away?
work. Oh yeah, Defender's 1 armor, so that does work.
Why
Yeah.
doesn't
So
Grunt
it's-
work?
Because it's an
Because it's
enemy
Mars-
non-Mars creature.
Yeah, Mars Needs Amber only works on non-Mars creatures.
Oh, right.
So Warrior, Berserker, Trooper, Defender seem to be
So the good ones.
your options.
The ones you'll
Maybe
probably see.
that other awful Sanctum token who gets power for
Disciple?
having the same neighbor.
Disciple?
Yeah, it's too awkward. Yeah,
Monk?
but yeah.
So, like it's still not bad.
No, it's pretty
But-
bad. It's not good.
Mars Need Amber does combo with our evolution.
It does.
Yes.
It also
But
can trigger.
Mars Needs Amber is in general a better card in this set than it was in
AOA.
AOA because there's more damage flying around. There are
There's
more
also
creatures.
ammonia clouds out there.
I was about to
which
say,
deal
this set
damage.
has ammonia clouds, which Mars Needs Amber did not have before. So I
That's
remember
true.
noting that when we were playing in set, like ammonia clouds sucked in Coda because it literally killed all of your Mars creatures that mattered, and like there was nothing to capitalize on the damage like Mars Needs Amber was. So when they dropped that out, I was like, well, that's stupid.
Well, but you also are seeing bigger bodies here with Brobnar increased power costs, Saurian increased power costs. So that allows those creatures to stick around too.
I still
Even
think
Icky-
Brobnar needs
Icky's
to get him a
average
juice,
over
though.
4, I think.
Yeah.
Well, then ammonia clouds will actually damage all the Bellatons as well.
So, but Mars Need Amber with the damage generation that does exist in this set is better than it's ever been before, hopefully.
And you have damage pips in set too. It's not like they're gone. Like there are plenty of damage pips to be
Yeah,
had.
even there's several damage pip enhancements in Mars.
Is Beam Buckler in this set?
No.
No, he's
No.
not. I couldn't remember. I thought I saw him, but they could have been an unchained.
So you have Yixel Stim Rager, which is fight, deal 2 to a creature.
I think he is in set.
Beam Buckler? I couldn't remember. I thought I saw him, but
Beam Buckler's here.
I couldn't
Yeah,
remember
it's
if he
in
was
the
in
comments.
set or if he was if it was an
He's right
unchained
next to
deck I
Harvest
saw
Moon.
him.
Nope. Tixel Beambuckler.
I think both of those
whatever.
weird ones were like Stim Ranger and Beam Buckler are in set.
Stim
Yeah, they're both
Ranger
in.
is in set, yes.
Yeah, they're both there.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of miscellaneous damage, and then the
Mothership support.
triple enhanced guy has 2 damage on him, and then they have that 2 damage enhanced action that lets you archive creatures.
There's a couple of splash attack dudes in here too, I believe.
I will always hate the Rebel token, but the Rebel token does synergize with Marcy's Amber. That's all I'm going to say, because I hate the card, but it does work.
Okay. Well, we are 3 out of 7 houses in, and already over an hour, guys.
I say we cut it here, and you're gonna have to listen for part 2, which we'll cover the other houses.
Well, one of these is smaller
Now,
than the rest, and we have a
gotta
multi-house.
do the fish.
All
Yeah,
right,
we're doing
you
the
wanted
fish
you
tonight.
wanted to go through the. All right, let's do. Are they the next on our list? They're not, but we can go through the
No.
fish.
But they got the shortest list.
They do
Well,
have
but
the shortest.
if we
list.
did the next one that's supposed to be in order, we would actually have the same amount of total combos as this week as next week.
Anyways, about the fish.
What the frick?
Well, it's on this page, so I say we just finish out the page. All
All right,
right.
let's see here. Actual combos in fish. Is the actual combo
This
in
is a chase.
fish is the one card where it's look at all their hand, Abyssal Sight, followed by Befuddle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a lot more
Yeah.
than that.
Illusions of
Well, there's
Grandeur.
lots of
there's
other stuff that works with that, but that's really
Befuddled is the common.
Sunk cost.
good.
It's all a combo. That's why it's so good. It's because there's options.
Yeah, but look at that. Okay, so Abyssal Sight, Plunder, Befuddled, Illusion, Watch Your Step, Sunk Cost. Like, I mean,
Either Abyssal Sight or Plunder
yeah.
allow you complete hand knowledge. Both
Right.
of those will identify their whole hand. One is a common, one's a rare.
Correct.
So let's read some cards, boys.
Yep, go ahead. Yeah, this is the one where very few people are.
Oh no. Oh no, I didn't plan for the hour of reading.
Go ahead.
Well, that's gonna be a Patreon episode. It's just Ewok reading every card. And,
Well, the name of this episode will be Ewok Reads for 2 hours.
Excellent. Abysmal Sight. Unfathomable. 1 Amber Pip. Action. Play. Destroy a friendly creature. If you do, look at your opponent's hand and choose a card from it. That player discards that card. And then you want me to go and Befuddle too, boys?
Yep.
Befuddle. Unfathomable. Action. With an Amber Pip. Play. Choose a house on your opponent's identity card. During their next turn, they cannot play cards of other houses.
And then Illusions.
Befuddle is real good.
Befuddled is real good. Do you
What
want to
else
do
do you want?
Illusions? Watch yourself. And well, we'll start with Illusions.
It's a reprint.
It is. Illusions of Grandeur is action. Amber Pip. Unfathomable. Play. Choose a house on your opponent's identity card. If your opponent does not choose that house as their active house on their next turn, gain 3 Amber.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and
What's the
everything's
rarity
gone.
on that one?
That one happens.
I believe it's common.
Illusions?
No,
Uncommon?
Illusions is
Uncommon.
uncommon. Illusions
It
is
is
uncommon.
uncommon.
Yeah.
So basically, those are 2 very strong control the weak-ish effects, followed by full hand knowledge, which was very hard to do in this. So you've got common or rare plus common or uncommon. So you're going to see a lot of possibilities for this to line up. Like, that's why the combo is here, because this is a weird level of control with complete knowledge that we haven't really seen before. I think the only way to do it in this before was a fair game, which was a rare. Like, you get a fair game into control a week, right? And now we can either common or rare into common or uncommon to get a control the week effect, which is going to be very, very powerful. From the fish.
And did you wanted Plunder too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Plunder is the other full knowledge card if you go to the end of the cycle.
Yeah. Now this one happens to be rare, but unfathomable action with an Amber Pip. Again, all these coming with Amber Pips. Play, reveal a random unrevealed card from your opponent's hand. Then you may either repeat this effect or your opponent discards the last revealed card. And how many of you are just going to stop after that first card?
Only depends if it's like
I would say,
game-breakingly good.
Correct.
What did
and
I get?
At that moment, but for the most part, this is show me the first one, show me the second, show me the third, show me the fourth. And that's what I was seeing happen with it.
Well, especially when there's a befuddle. If there's no befuddle, I might, throw out board clear or a big amber swing card when I see it. But with befuddle in hand, then I want to know everything. And then I'm just going to be like, well, you can't play it. So it doesn't matter if you have it.
Agree. If I have Befuddle or Illusions in hand, I use Plunder. They're going to discard the last card they show me. And then I have my complete knowledge, control the weak effect.
As far as I'm
Good.
concerned, there's one combo, and it is the only. Wow. Okay, so all that's worth having. Definitely worth having.
Oh, you're looking at Tengaika. Okay, well, we'll just
No,
take a
I'm
break
not
here
looking
for
at
you.
Tengaika. I am looking.
Before we go on from Befuddle, I do want to talk about the one that someone talked to me about at the KFC event. I didn't
Okay.
actually have a deck with two of them, so I didn't even think about it being a thing. We've just talked about what Befuddle does. Befuddle comboing into another Befuddle does lock them out of playing cards.
For now.
There's no reason to change that.
For now.
It's fine.
What do you
It's
mean?
just you can't play
Befuddle
cards.
into another befuddle.
So if I
So
play
it's
Befuddle,
like
then
you-
play Befuddle.
Walk by. Read Befuddle again.
Okay, Befuddle. Action, Unfathomable with the pip. Play, choose a house on your opponent's identity card. During their next turn, they cannot play cards other houses. So if I play Brobnar as the first house and then play a second Befuddle and say Unfathomable,
Yeah,
you
okay.
can't. That's why.
You cannot play any cards.
For
They
now.
would literally have to change the text on the card for that to stop working.
Which it more than likely will be eroded.
Why?
I don't think so.
Because
I
we're
think
not
it's fine.
allowed to, because somebody will cry.
Aw.
I don't think they're changing this, bro. I think
hope they
Befuddle
don't.
into Befuddle is going to be a
I
legit
definitely think
I
real
think the
combo.
fact that it actually takes two of them to trigger, which means you can't befuddle next turn, reap out, befuddle, reap out. The fact that you got to play all
The
your
fact that it's-
befuddles for it to
okay.
work means it's okay.
Yeah, it is a common, and so you can get multiples. But again, even trying 2, 3, we're fine with.
shooting for that 5
you've-
Befuddle deck.
Sure, but what? you
Or
have 2
Befuddle
turns?
would be a thing. Yeah.
Well, it really depends. It really depends,
Still a
right?
great
Because
combo.
I can befuddle. If we do the whole combo here, right?
Well, you
have
would
hand.
want to do the other
Well, I'm
things.
saying if I have hand knowledge and I befuddle you and say you can't play, it's very possible I can maybe. Okay, so first time's a full lockout, second time's a soft lock.
Yeah.
I think this card is 100% targeted for change. I hope you're right. I hope
You're still only going to get 3 or 4 copies. You can do the same thing with stupid. You get to do similar things with what's his name and Control of the Weak, Restigantus and Control of the Weak.
Control of the Weak, yeah.
And that stuff isn't banned or changed.
True.
Let me tell you, as a guy who's lost to frickin' Restigantus Control of the Weak, it's not banned. It's going to be good, but it's also lots of copies of the same card in a set where you have a hard time setting up killer hands. I think it's fine.
Okay. And again,
All right.
I hope you're right. I'm not going to be the one upset. If it
Okay,
stays
so
the same.
what's our next one? Guilt Spine School, which is a 1 power 5 armor creature who says
Make
play,
3 token
create
creatures.
3 token creatures and token creatures. This is a 2-sided effect. Token creatures do not ready. But then there's another card he combos with Dragnet, which is return cards to your hand effect.
Return a
This one I need
creature
the-
and
I need-
each of its neighbors that share a house with it to their owner's hand. So basically, it's play bounce, and then you get whatever card. You're basically, this combo says draw 3.
It would make 6
Wow.
tokens.
Yeah, you're gonna make a bunch of tokens. You're potentially gonna pull back if you like the tokens that you put out. You can pull them back if it's
Only if they are also
house.
fish. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's off,
Yeah.
like if it's not a fish token, you can make 6 tokens here. If it's a fish house, by playing Guilt Spine, you could choose to put them all to one side of it or not. So you could bring back, drag Guilt Spine +1 or Guilt Spine +2.
I see what you're saying. Okay, so
Yeah.
you want to play the Guild Spine. If they're fish, you can put them around, bounce your Guild
Yep.
Spine back to hand, play, and get 3 more tokens.
Yes.
Mhm.
So it
Okay.
works
I
real
was
nice with,
thinking
like,
more play your 3, bounce your middle one, and then it just returns the other 2 to hand.
My
Wow.
question here is another rules thing, though.
Maybe.
It's like, do I get to look at the bottom of the card before I choose where to put it into play?
Mm.
I have been.
Like I draw it off the deck that way, right? Like,
Yeah.
don't we all? Like, we slide it off the deck, we look at it, then we put it into play.
I
So,
Well,
like, because that legitimately matters a lot here, right?
My favorite
Yeah,
thing you
it
do is
certainly
when you take
could.
your cards up and you actually show me the back of your card so I know exactly what your token creature is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people do that.
So that's funny because I do not look at my token creature until it's in play.
Yeah, I don't
Interesting.
either.
I think that would be an
I guess
actual
I don't know.
clarification that we would need because, like, in this case, like, if my first card I played Guilt Spine, I have Fish House. My first card I see doesn't matter. It's going to have to be, like, assuming our board's empty, like this is first turn or something. I put it next to my Guilt Spine. Second card I pull up, it's a really good fish card that I could return to my hand. I would obviously then put it on the other side of Guilt Spine. So when I Dragnet, I'm pulling all 3 of them back to my hand. So yeah, like, knowing what that card is before I place it on my battle line would actually matter. And I don't know the answer to.
Was there rules in the new rules books for tokens?
There is, but nothing that would indicate at what point you would get to see the back of that card.
Well, get ready for another timing chart.
I think it says you get to know what your tokens are, which means as soon as you're grabbing it, you get to know what it is. Would be
that is what I think, but it is not clarified anywhere that I would know.
All right, what else we got here? We got a pipped out initiation.
We've got 2 just fun chase things because the fish house is going to be pretty good. Pipped out initiation is our next archiving card, so we're looking for the fish have draw pips in their common, I think.
Yeah.
So we would like to see lots of draw on our pipped out initiation to make tokens in archive. And the other card just to chase lots of, because I know, like, there's a certain player.
Do you actually want draw pips on your initiation? Because then you draw cards and then it fails.
Oh, that one doesn't work.
Yeah. So initiation, for those aren't aware,
I'm gonna just remove that. It would basically have to be amber, so it's less of a chase because it's more rare.
Because it says play, make a token creature. If you have fewer than 4 cards in your hands, archive initiation.
Which means there's half as many chances you'd get a really nice pipped one. But so far, we still have a nice pipped out clone home that we'd be searching for, because that's a good one. But yeah, the other chase I was looking at is just a bunch of Fathom Reavers. Like this is way better from what I've experienced in the short time I've played than Succubus was. And it creates tokens when it plays. Walkbot, you got the Fathom Reaver? This is how I lost my first game in the Unchained deck.
Really?
4 power, 1 armor, some sort of fish thing.
No armor.
No armor.
No armor? Okay, just 4 power.
So Fathom Reaver is 4 power, no armor, Aquan creature. Play, make a token creature. While you control a token creature, your opponent refills their hand to 1 less card during the draw card step.
Yeah. Like, they're going to have tokens quite often, and it's 4 power. Just the 4 power things we've talked about, like the annoyingness of getting rid of them. Stuff like, Witch of the Wild used to stay around like longer than most of us would have wanted it to. Same thing goes on here. Like, this is a very strangling succubus.
I think
tokens.
I think at common, with the ability to continue to generate creatures, especially in Unfathomable, you're producing more. You can go ahead and really hand choke them. You can have 2, 3.
And it is a common.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so the player that collects 5 of certain cards, like, is gonna love to find one of these.
You mean
Like, that's
Dave? Dave
yeah,
is the
yeah.
person who
That's
collects 5 of
that's
certain
that,
cards.
that person.
He's not the only person who collects 5.
Who else does?
Mediator
I'll
collects
take
5s.
4. 4's fine with me. Gives me
All
more
right.
chances at Abyssal Sight Befuddle.
Let's
I
just go to the
do-
only combo that matters. But go ahead.
This is
JR.
yeah, a lot of people will love this.
Go ahead, JR.
No,
You
do
go
Wookie.
first.
No. I was just going to go ahead and say, I do like that Fathom Reader allows you a chance to be able to respond that you, especially with some of the low power token creatures, you can go ahead and kill that, and then you're not restricted with the drawing one less.
Well,
So
you
it isn't
gotta kill
necessary. Yeah, you have to
however
kill
many.
you have to kill all of them, but I'm saying there are other options. It's not just here. You have to go into Fathom Reader. Oftentimes, it is going to be a better choice to take out the Fathom Reader, but there are other options, especially with those really, really small, token creatures. I don't think that the 1 power Raider is that big of a deal.
The
Especially,
biggest disappointment is that his squeak toy friend did not either become a token or get his own
Yes.
card. That's the real travesty in all this.
yet, Wookie, yet.
He's the leader. I'm telling you. Look at him. He just oozes leadership.
All right,
Mhm.
come on, Ewok. Read these next cards' names.
Well, hold on. Let's talk about the only combo that matters, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah, that's what he's.
Bryozark and Timmy the Damned. It's
Mhm.
actually Tomati, but his Timmy the Damned.
Timmy the Damned. All right. Bryozark is 6 power, Aquan, 0 armor creature. When your opponent plays an action card, instead of resolving its play effect, destroy the creature on your left flank. This is a rare. And you want us to go to Timothy?
Timmy the Damned.
So does
It's amazing.
Biznatch here? He
Biznatch.
Biznatch.
Lots of people will be referring to it that way. Yes.
He's instead of playing an action card, right? So
Yeah, so when an opponent plays, it's only when your opponent, you can still play it. But when your opponent plays an action, instead of resolving it, you're going to head. So it doesn't resolve it. It's very clear. It's destroy the creature on your left
But
flank.
you're just not resolving the effect. So they still get all the pips off the
They're
card.
not resolving the play action on the card.
Yeah, the play
okay.
action. So
But
get
they still
pipped.
get whatever upgraded pips there are.
Yes.
Okay. Or stock amber. All right, very good.
All right. And Timothy is 4 power, Aquan creature with 0 armor. Play, make a token creature. While you control a token creature, your opponent cannot forge keys.
Right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sure is.
And Timothy
these
is
guys
uncommon.
together.
Sure is. I'll take 5 of
You
him,
get
please.
multiples. I'll take 2 Bryos and 4 Timmys, please.
You don't need 2 Bryos. You just need 1. And just like, oh, my opponent is Kodo or AOA. Oh, you lose. GG.
That is kind of funny as Biznatch with the cultists. So then when your cultists are
Ward it,
destroyed,
yep.
you get to ward one of your other creatures.
No, I think it's an action.
It's
to
action
trigger it.
destroy
It is
cultist
action, yeah.
ward.
But it's worth
But
it.
if you have
Yeah.
fish, you get to deal 2 damage to the most powerful enemy creature.
Correct.
Each time they play an action.
Right.
Yeah, that's good too.
So it's like each time you get to play an action, I get to kick you in the shin.
Using C to destroy your own board.
Like, I don't know how good Bryo is going to be, like, in set play. Like, if this was a sealed event, I don't think I care that I get him.
He
But if
shuts
I'm, like-
down his own house.
Yeah, that's true. But they're still going to have creatures.
He
they're
literally
still gonna have
says
tokens
all
to
the
fight
things
with.
you want to do to me. Nah, bruh. No.
There's no taunt, though. Like, there is no taunt in this
It's
house.
6
Yeah, well,
fucking power.
yeah, I'll take the cultist here. Like, it's worth
To ward.
sacrificing to ward up. Yeah,
Yeah.
this guy and Timmy. Yeah, give me cultist here.
But in a more real sense, as far as, like, competitiveness, why this guy, like, with or without Timmy, or Timmy with or without Bryozark, are both chase cards because of just what they do. Because Bryo literally shuts down anything that's like pre-Worlds Collide in the meta. Like
It shuts down a good amount of world MM too. I mean, not as significant as the other 3 sets, but
it should not shut down MM.
it
But,
has the possibility. I mean, it hurts it. Doesn't shut it down. You
it's
are
a good
correct.
card.
But
It's going to be effective against anything, but
Right.
like it will just win against a lot of Coda anyway. That is in the meta. Like this probably beats Galaxy. Like I am not going into any game with the intent on one of my creatures in Galaxy fighting off a 6-power creature on the other side of the board. That is never the game plan. It's
well, it's about to have to be.
we'll see. I mean, I guess there's like one Stealer of Souls. There's like one chance.
I love Timmy.
And then
can only fathom so much beauty.
And yeah, Timmy's value is just straight up. Like any card that says like you can't win this game unless you deal with it is good. Like that's what Timmy is.
Because like, when do you not? I mean, it's pretty rare to not have a token creature out in this set.
Yeah, and like we had Cultist here as a fun token to have to like ward Timmy, but like your token could be Legionnaire, like the Peloton Warrior dude. Or it could be Berserker, it could be Warrior, it could be Grunt, could be Defender. Like those tokens are not gonna like disappear that often, right? There's gonna generally be one in the game, and Timmy makes one of his own anyway.
Yeah, he comes with one.
Yeah.
I mean, at bare minimum, Timmy's a miasma.
Yeah,
Well, I think it's pretty funny with Cultist for Primordial Vault. At the start of your turn, make a Cultist. Every turn, hey, there's my token creature.
Yeah, there's the token. Timmy comes with another one.
Yeah.
Oh, this one was already ready because I made it last turn. Ward Timmy.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a creature, but man, it's just, and it's one-sided too.
Yeah, we like
Yeah.
Like it's not. It is a souped-up part of the forest on a stick that is one-sided. That was just like you cannot forge keys. I'm going to continue
it's a creature versus an artifact.
Right, I get
so
that.
I'm much happier seeing that.
I mean, shit. There's just as much artifact removal nowadays, and there's creature removal.
I mean, I think the bigger part of this is that we're just going to see it a lot. It's not like we're going to randomly like have to chase a rare. Timmy is an uncommon. Like,
well, we haven't even touched on Sanctum, but Sanctum has defense cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where the taunt. That's where the
guys.
taunt is in set. You got to go to Sanctum to get taunt, pretty much exclusively. Almost.
And they can make 1 billion tokens.
They can.
They can make 1 billion tokens. This is true. If you get a cultist plus some sanctum that can make some tokens, that could be pretty busted. And a Brio and a Timmy.
Oh, hey, like this is not going to be on our combo list because it's not that strong. But Bryozark obviously is going to be on your right flank, I think. Hadros Wall's in set, so it could be an 8.
It could be an 8-power thing that.
Or you could have multiple Hadron's Wall, which I did see.
And shoulder armor. Hadron's Wall, shoulder armor. Then you have a 10-power, 2-armor Bryozark. Can't use actions to kill it. Good luck. What you gonna do?
See, there's all sorts of uses for Sanctum.
Yeah.
Protect your Bryozark.
Yes, to protect your Bryozark. I think Lady Lorena's in there. You could have the double taunt Lady Lorena there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of interesting things that can happen. Like Bryozark's going to win games. I think more games than Restring Guntus ever won. That's my early prediction.
Well, Restring Guntus, I mean, he was one. I mean, again, he dies to a fart. You know, MM
eliminated Restring Guntus mostly.
Yeah, I mean,
right,
we weren't quite so gassy back in the Coda days.
Well, we were. We were very gassy back in the Coda days.
We were gassy? Okay.
Oh, absolutely, because there was a lot of direct damage back in the Coda days. Tons.
I think it's because you stand.
What?
Because you stand. That's why you're so gassy.
I don't think so. I just think there was a lot of cards. Oubliette was also a card that existed that just basically said whatever game plan you had, make it go away. So, I don't know. There was a lot of stuff. Just it being one power basically said, figure it out, and if you don't, basically you're telling
Fangtooth, right?
Right.
It's like everybody loves that card. So
yes.
Yeah. Fangtooth, damage pips. Like Restring Guntus kind of disappeared from any kind of meta.
Right. So, but Bryozark, that's a meaty boy. Probably not going anywhere. But I think that's
even Timmy for his effect 4 power is like so good.
This is my favorite.
It's all
Timmy.
good.
I'll be buying all Timmy ducks. But anyways, that's gonna do it for us this week. Hopefully, we'll see what happens next week because we haven't had a lot of news. So I figured maybe chopping this up into 2 episodes. We haven't had a lot of information. We had the submit your Keyforge related content. I didn't know how to submit a whole podcast, so I didn't. But
here's like 300 episodes.
Here's 3 years of podcast content.
File.
Yeah. Did you want me to put that on a floppy disk for you, or
here's 800 hours
and the
of
old
Keyforge.
floppy end?
Like, you know what? But we probably don't have it backed up because
What? Oh no, our stuff's backed up. We're good. I didn't lose the show. Maybe that'll be next week's episode. We lost the show. It's just gone, all of it. But I think Sheep, you said you submitted our haikus, right? Our Keyforge Valentine's Day haikus.
Submit some haikus. Yeah.
Oh,
Yay!
So
I eliminated the ones that were specifically about cast members, though.
Oh. Did you keep the X-Ray
well,
Sucks one, though?
I did keep the X-Ray Sucks one.
Nice. Love it. So make sure you get that. What was that? info@ghostgalaxy.com or was it info@gg?
info@ghostgalaxy.com.
There you go. I said it right this time, too. So make sure if you do any sort of anything, there's a lot of cool stuff out there. I see the guys who are making the 3D cards. That's pretty cool. I dig that. Ketzer, make sure you do all your art, your comic reels. Make sure you submit that. Those are super cool. So make sure you get it over there.
Did you see I think it was an Italian foiled custom Archon card for their Alliance packs?
That was super, super cool.
I did. And I now know where to get foiled Keyforge cards from that I don't have to make. Because my time is very limited with the holidays working in retail.
Yeah.
More limited than it already was. Because, 'tis the season, so. But again, that's going to do it for us this week. We'll go through the other, what do we got, 3 houses left?
And the mixed.
And then the mixed bag, which I think some of these are Christmas land, but we'll see. We'll go through that. Possibly next week, we'll see kind of what news pops up. Because we didn't get anything this week, did we? Nothing, right?
Yeah, the job thing was last week.
Somebody said they.
Oh, wasn't the thing requesting media this week?
Yeah, that's what I just said. That's what I just talked
about.
Yeah,
that was it.
That was a tweet. That wasn't even on their website, was it?
The first 500 decks were printed.
Yeah, they had put something out about like they had printed the first 500 of 8,000 wins of exchange decks.
No. 80,000.
80.
Oh, 80. I'm sorry, 80,000. You're right. I meant to say 80, but I said 8.
80,000?
Yeah, 8 is just what Z ordered.
So that's probably
so they're still trying to just fulfill Z's order.
That's fine. Guys, they got this. They are 0.6% of the way there.
Hey.
Yeah. You do a quality control run.
Yep.
0.6. That's your initial test.
Well, and who knows? They might have just started at like 1:00, and then by 3 they already had 500 printed. You don't know. I don't know if it said when they started.
I like your optimism.
You like my optimism?
I agree with the cast here. I think that 500 was just like we know, like they told us they were tweaking stuff. We knew that there were some card art issues. We knew there were some texts in weird spots or whatever. We knew there was like some of the Archons weren't getting put in the right deck, like that happened to Sid. Like the Archon card.
People were getting
which I found. Oh, I forgot to mention that. So I had my Reforge event last Sunday, and one of my players won. I gave away 2 Unchained decks for the top 8, and one of the players cracked the Unchained deck, and I found Sydney's Archon card in the deck. I sent a picture, and like I looked at the deck list. I was like, "There's the Fathom Reavers that kicked my butt in that one deck." And I was like, "But Sydney was missing her Archon card," so I immediately messaged her the picture of it, and she's like, "Oh my god, that's my Archon!" So I'm currently in possession of her Unchained Archon deck list. and
Are
I
you
will be
holding it
sending-
for ransom?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I shredded it.
I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that warrior deck right now, or your Archon card gets it.
So I will be sending it to her over the holiday.
No,
but yeah, that was just crazy randomness. But like, since we know that they are having certain printing issues because like it's their first time printing those decks, I imagine those 500 have already actually been like looked at in detail. Or will
Didn't
be
they say
soon.
like one of the decks came out? It was just like all Star Alliance.
I didn't see anything like that. I heard a lot of everything else that's been mentioned. I saw at some point in time.
Well, Sheep, how's the webcam you attached to that window over an article? How's that looking right now?
What are you doing?
What? Oh,
We don't talk about the webcam, Drascore.
Ah, damn. All right.
That was in a private chat. What are you?
Sheep's not figuring out how to do any of that.
Well, Sheep attached the webcam, but he forgot to plug it into anything, so it's actually
Well, he's-
recording absolutely
It's a
nothing.
PhD of bullshit. So
I was clearly not explained what I was doing because I just put Echo 5 up there, so they're seeing my webcam from. You guys need to give me better instructions.
Yeah.
So now when CTP and Michael Hurley come into the office every day, they just see Sheep walking around naked all the time.
oh, he's got his new puppy, so that's
Oh,
probably
yeah.
good viewing.
Yeah, the puppy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
Cam's
gonna
on.
do it for us this week. Come on back next week. We'll see you then.
Happy Forging, everybody.
May the forge be with you.
See ya.